Rogers entered this world as Leonard Franklin Sly, born to parents Mattie and Andrew "Andy" Sly in Cincinnati, Ohio. The Sly family resided in a tenement on 2nd Street, which eventually became the site of Riverfront Stadium. Rogers would later humorously quip that he was born right at second base. Among his siblings, Len had 3 sisters, Kathleen, Mary, and Cleda. Unsatisfied with his job and the urban lifestyle, Andy, along with his brother Will, embarked on a unique project. They constructed a 12 by 50-foot houseboat using salvaged lumber. In July of 1912, the Sly family set out on the Scioto River towards Portsmouth. With the aspiration for a more stable life in Portsmouth, they acquired land with the intention of building a traditional house. However, due to the Great Flood of 1913, their plans took an unexpected turn. They were able to relocate the houseboat onto their newly acquired property, allowing them to continue their dwelling on dry land. This shift in circumstances provided them with an unconventional yet functional home. Upon returning to Lawndale at the age of 19, Len received a suggestion from his sister Mary to audition for the Midnight Frolic radio program, broadcast over KMCS in Inglewood. A few nights later, donning a Western shirt crafted by Mary, he overcame his shyness and showcased his talents on the program by playing the guitar, singing, and yodeling. This performance led to an invitation to join the local country music group known as the Rocky Mountaineers, and he officially became a member in August 1931. By September of the same year, Len enlisted the help of Canadian-born Bob Nolan, who responded to the group's ad in the Los Angeles Herald-Examiner seeking a yodeler for Old Time Act to travel. Tenor preferred. Though Nolan's time with the group was short-lived, Len and Nolan maintained their connection. Tim Spencer eventually replaced Nolan. Starting with his debut in a film in 1935, Len became a fixture in Western movies, often cast as a singing cowboy and credited as Leonard Sly. In 1938, as Gene Autry sought higher pay for his work, a competition arose for a new singing cowboy at a lower wage. Len emerged as the winner, and Republic Pictures bestowed upon him the stage name Roy Rogers, a blend of the Western-sounding name Roy and the surname of the popular Western comic entertainer Will Rogers. He secured a lead role in Under Western Stars and quickly became a matinee idol, rivaling Autry for the title of the nation's favorite singing cowboy. Rogers played major roles both in his own films and as a supporting character in notable works like Dark Command, 1940, where he acted alongside one of his future sidekicks, George "Gabby" Hayes. His immense popularity was evident, with most of his leading roles permitting him to portray characters named after himself, much like Autry did. Rogers was consistently listed in the Motion Picture Herald Top 10 Money-Making Western Stars poll for 16 consecutive years, topping the list from 1943 to 1954. Similarly, he ranked first in the box office poll from 1943 to 1952. He even featured in the Top 10 Money-Making Stars poll for all films in 1945 and 1946. His films, often in true color during an era of black and white B-westerns, made him a beloved figure among children. Some of his movies incorporated animal adventures where his horse, Trigger, took center stage for a while. Using earnings from his films and public appearances, Rogers included a merchandising clause in his 1940 contract with Republic Pictures, granting him rights to his name, likeness, and voice. This resulted in Roy Rogers action figures, comic strips, novels, playsets, and a successful Dell Comics series. Rogers ranked second only to Walt Disney in terms of merchandise featuring his name. The Sons of the Pioneers, the musical group Rogers initiated, maintained their popularity and continued performing as members retired or passed away. Although not an active member, Rogers often performed with them in various media until his death. He crossed paths with Dale Evans in 1944 during the filming of a movie. Known for their advocacy for adoption and children's charities, they adopted several children themselves. They were also steadfast in their Christian faith throughout their marriage. Beginning in 1949, they were part of the Hollywood Christian Group, which evolved into Bel Air Church. This group included notables like Billy Graham and Jane Russell. In 1932, a Palomino colt born in California was given the name Golden Cloud. Upon acquiring him, Rogers renamed the colt Trigger. Rogers also possessed a thoroughbred racehorse named Trigueiro, which achieved success with 13 career wins, including the 1975 El Encino Stakes at Santa Anita Park. In 1932, Rogers encountered an admirer named Lucille Ascalise. They wed in 1933 via a Justice of the Peace ceremony in Los Angeles. However, the marriage ended in divorce in 1936. While touring with the O'Barrow Cowboys in June 1933, Rogers crossed paths with a radio station caller, Grace Arlene Wilkins, who promised to bake him a pie if he sang the Swiss Yodel. Their relationship progressed, and they married in Roswell on June 11, 1936, after corresponding since their initial meeting. In 1941, they adopted a daughter named Cheryl Darlene. Grace then gave birth to daughter Linda Lou 2 years later. Sadly, Grace passed away due to complications from childbirth a few days after giving birth to their son, Roy Jr., on November 3, 1946. After meeting Dale Evans in 1944 while filming a movie together, Rogers and Evans fell in love shortly after the death of Grace. Rogers proposed to Evans during a rodeo at Chicago Stadium, and they married on New Year's Eve in 1947 at the Flying L Ranch in Davis, Oklahoma, where they had recently filmed Home in Oklahoma. Together, they had a biological child and adopted 4 more children. Robin Elizabeth, who tragically died from complications related to mumps before her 2nd birthday. 3 adopted daughters, Mimi, Dodie, and Debbie, and 1 adopted son, Sandy. Evans recounted the loss of their daughter Robin in her book Angel Unaware. Rogers and Evans remained married until his passing. In 1955, the couple purchased a 168-acre ranch near Chatsworth, California, including a hilltop ranch house, which they expanded to 300 acres. Following the tragic death of their daughter Debbie in a church bus accident in 1964, they moved to the 67-acre Double R Bar Ranch in Apple Valley, California. Rogers passed away from congestive heart failure on July 6, 1998, at the age of 86, in Apple Valley, California. He was laid to rest at Sunset Hills Memorial Park in Apple Valley, where his wife Dale Evans was also interred 3 years later.